is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Friday night was a good night for the Tribe. Last night, not so much. They could not dig themselves out of an early hole, and the White Sox even up the series. The star of the show for the Tribe so far has been Edwin Encarnacion, who last night took his parrot for another ride around the bases. Carlos Carrasco will take the ball in an important start for the Indians, who look to win the series and stay above 500 next on Sports Time Ohio. An absolutely gorgeous sunny Sunday afternoon in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, as the Indians try to take 2 out of 3 and win this series against the Chicago White Sox today here at Progressive Field. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. If the Indians are to win the series and beat the White Sox here today, they'll probably need some more big hits from Edwin Encarnacion, who so far in the month of June is hitting .350, and he's now homered in back-to-back games for the first time as a Cleveland Indian.
Well, in the last 3 weeks, Eddie is starting to pick up the pace a little bit. The long ball is starting to come. 7 homers, 14 ribbies, the batting average over 300, and it's nice to see. He hit a ball yesterday out of the ballpark and brought the Indians back into the game, and there you see he just misses one, but you know what? It still went for a double, but he can tell right now when he gets the ball if it's gone. If it's not, he's getting awfully close, and hopefully he gets hot enough where he'll be able to carry this Indians offense for a little while. A familiar foe on the hill for Chicago today when you talk about the Indians, Jose Quintana, who last year his ERA never dipped below 3.26. Hard to believe he comes in here today with an ERA over 5. Well, maybe a little different pitcher this year, but you know, he's their #1 starter, and Quintana's got to keep it rolling because Chris Sale is no longer there. But this guy, you know what, there's a lot of talk about him being traded throughout the course of this year. Maybe he will. I don't think it's going to hurt his trade value. He's still a quality pitcher, although he is 2-7 and a 5.30 ERA. He will get it back together. He'll reel it in, and he's always pitched tough against the Indians.
He's been scuffling lately. He's winless in his last 6 starts, and that ERA during that time is 6.68. We'll be back with today's first pitch coming up. Plus, we'll hear from Al and Jensen, and we'll check in with Andre Knott. He'll talk to Michael Brantley to see what exactly the Indians need to do to get this thing turned around. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution.
On the White Sox here at Progressive Field, the rubber match in this 3-game series as the Indians try to beat Chicago this weekend 2-1. Welcome back to our set here in center field along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Today the Indians are going to see what they can do against the White Sox. We already know what the Rockies can do. They're having a heck of a week. They've won 7 straight, including 4 in a row against last year's World Series participants. 2 against the Tribe, 2 against the Cubs.
Well, a big reason why they're starting pitching. 4 rookies in that rotation. They have absolutely dominated, but it's been the hitting, Al. 75 hits in this 7-game win streak. They've scored 50 runs. Charlie Blackmon's been unbelievable. Nolan Arenado, Mark Reynolds, a big reason why they are one of the top scoring offenses, but I think it's been the solidification of the bullpen. Greg Holland, perfect in save opportunities this year. This team is rolling with a 2.5-game lead in the National League West.
Solidification.
I waited till the end of the week for you, bud.
I liked it. Matt and Rick, we'll leave you guys with that. Solidification, guys.
Well, and I think there's a lot of questions among the teams that were in the World Series last year. You watch Colorado go in and beat up the Chicago Cubs, much like they beat up the Indians. And the 2 teams that were in the World Series last year, the Indians are a game over 500. The Cubs are a game under 500. Chicago's lost 4 in a row. The Indians have lost 5 out of 7. Both teams are finding the sledding a little bit tougher this year with everybody gunning for them. And with more on that, we go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, thank you, Matt. What a perfect segue into talking about where the Indians are and where their opponents are. And in talking to Michael Brantley the other night after the victory Friday night over the White Sox, he understands because of where this team was last year, teams come into this park, and when they go to their parks, teams bring it like never before against the Cleveland Indians. Here's today's Hear Right Sounds of the Game with Michael Brantley.
I don't want to forget about it. I want to use it as fuel. It's very important that we come out here every day ready to compete, ready to play good baseball. Teams that come into Cleveland know that they're going to have to play one of their good games to beat us. And we got to make sure that we're bringing the same intensity every night.
Is it easier said than done?
Well, the amazing thing, Brantley wasn't playing last year, and this team had an edge to him because Michael was out of the lineup, and they felt like, they had to prove that they were going to score some runs with him being out. So the amazing thing, he's back. You got Encarnacion, who wasn't here. The funny thing is they're sputtering. Now, they don't have that chip on their shoulder like they did last year, I don't think.
You say that they don't have their edge like they had a year ago. And I know it's a fictional story, but you think about the Rocky movies. He lost his edge after that first fight. And you've got to find a way to find something that motivates you. And in baseball, it has to be every day. You can't just build up for one big fight, but you've got to be able to do it every single day.
Because it's a marathon, and everybody, everybody has to motivate themselves. But as a team, you grow together as the season goes on, and you start pulling in the same direction. That hasn't happened yet for the Indians, or probably the Cubs. I don't know. I don't see them play. I watch this team every day, and there's something that they're going to have to do. They're going to have to start rowing together. They're going to have to find that edge together, and that's when they'll start growing together.
Well, and if they don't, before long, people aren't going to talk about the Minnesota Twins and wonder when they're going to fade, because right now they're not showing any signs of going away. Minnesota's won 3 in a row. They've opened up a 2.5-game lead in the American League Central Division. And, we're almost midway through June, so it's safe to say the Twins are not a flash in the pan.
No, they're going to continue to play well. Everybody waits for somebody. The Indians may be in the right division, but still, they have to start playing better baseball.
Well, the Indians take the field behind Carlos Carrasco, who has done a number on the White Sox already this year. He's pitched 15 innings against Chicago. He's given up 1 run. Let's take a look at the lineup he will face today for Rick Renteria's club. It's brought to you by Hankook Tires. Lurie Garcia will lead it off. Melky Cabrera, who's hit in 4 straight, will bat second. Jose Abreu batting third. Then it's Avisail Garcia, Todd Frazier, and Yolmer Sanchez. Tim Anderson, Omar Narvaez, and Matt Davidson batting ninth.
Carlos Carrasco is today's Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe. Carrasco coming off a loss at Kansas City. They spotted him a 3-0 lead, and he gave up 5 runs out in the 5th inning, so he could not hold it, but he left trailing the ball game 4-3. it turned into a loss. But he's pitched very well against the White Sox, made 2 starts against them this year. He's 1-0, 15 innings, just 7 hits allowed, and just 1 run allowed, and 15 strikeouts. They need a start like that from Carlos this afternoon if they want to win the series here. Let's check out the Indians defense, brought to you by Ram. Behind Carlos this afternoon, it'll be Brantley in left field. Jackson is in center. Robertson over in right. Ramirez is at third. Lindor at short. Gonzalez gets the start at second this afternoon. Santana at first. Perez doing the catching.
Mike Everett, the veteran crew chief, will call the balls and strikes today. Ryan Blakeney is at first base. Jordan Baker at second, and Bruce Dreckman down at third. Well, you can't ask for a better day. 86 degrees, beautiful sunshine, not a cloud in sight, and fans jamming their way into the ballpark. There's a log jam at the gates. Everybody trying to make their way in time for the first pitch, but a few of them, unfortunately, are going to be a little bit
That's
late.
okay. The kids are here. They're going to have fun. They'll have an opportunity to run the bases after the ball game. So it is sunny summer baseball.
Terry Francona handing the ball to Carlos Carrasco in a game they need him to go out and pitch well, especially after Josh Tomlin was knocked out early in the 3rd inning of last night's start. So Carrasco ready, he delivers, and we're underway as Lurie Garcia can't catch up to the heat. Garcia 2 for 8 in the series with a double and a run scored. And he fouls that pitch off. He really looked at times overmatched. His first 2 at-bats against Corey Kluber on Friday night, he struck out both times, and it was quick.
6 pitches, yes, it was.
Then he doubled and scored in the 5th, helping to get Chicago back into the game. But the Indians were able to pull away with a big 3-run 8th Friday night to win it 7-3.
Yeah, Lurie Garcia having a pretty nice year for him this year. Plays in some center field. He can play the infield, hitting .294 with 6 homers, 9 doubles, 21 ribbies.
Two-strike pitch is up high.
And that's the thing about Carlos Carrasco. After he gets you into an 0-2 count like he had Garcia, hitters are hitting just .053 against him on the season. He's awfully tough when he gets ahead of you.
Garcia able to lay off. The pitch, just about a ball or so off the plate, and a full count.
Take a look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker. Off, that's way outside. Thought it was closer than that, but that thing had some run to it.
Swings and fouls that one back. It was borderline, and Garcia didn't want to take a chance. Again to 3-2. Again he fouls it off.
Well, just fouling him off to stay alive. Pitches that he can't really handle, but he's doing a good job of staying alive.
One more time the payoff pitch, and again it's a foul ball. You know, you mentioned the numbers against Carrasco when you get to 2 strikes from a batting average standpoint. The on-base percentage not much better, just a .143, and that's 3rd best among all starting pitchers.
Yeah, he can bury you. He has a number of ways to go get you. But Garcia's really having a good at-bat off. Man, 6 foul balls in this at-bat. And that's, I mean, that's what your typical, you like to see your leadoff hitter do. If you can make that pitcher work.
Smashed off the glove of Carrasco. Backhanded by Eric Gonzalez. Throws him out. A spectacular play. Incredible. Off the deflection, Gonzalez got there and turned, spinning on a dime, made a perfect throw to Santana, who dug it out at first.
Wow, great at bat, great play. Deflected off the glove of Carrasco just enough where Gonzalez could get there. In his only play, he had to heave it. He makes the throw as Lurie Garcia goes in head first. Beautiful play all the way around. What a way to start this afternoon off. Good at bat and a great play.
Well, you worked that hard to get it out for Carrasco. That's a big lift.
It really is.
An 11 pitch at bat for Lurie Garcia. And now Melky Cabrera. Fly ball left field.
Boy, you
Brantley
love that.
out. And there are 2 down. Storylines today brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Get the early lead. Play from in front. That's where this team is at its best. And when the Indians score first, they're 20-10. When they lead after 6, they're 24-1. Hopefully Carlos Carrasco can go out and continue his dominance against this Chicago club. Jose Abreu. Boy, the way he went down Friday night, we didn't think we'd see him the rest of the series.
I was utterly amazed he was back into that lineup last night, the way he hobbled off the field.
His manager Rick Renteria said yesterday Abreu came to him and said he wanted to be in the lineup, and it paid off. He got drilled by an Andrew Miller fastball on Friday night. It nailed him on the left knee on the side. And a weak ground ball to second base should get him out of the inning, and it does. So Carlos Carrasco cruises through a scoreless first. The Indians are coming to bat. The Indians come to bat against left-hander Jose Quintana with his starting 9. A little different look for Terry Francona's club today, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Daniel Robertson will lead it off, putting as many right-handed bats in there as he can. The only lefty is Michael Brantley, who hits third after Francisco Lindor. Then it's Santana. Encarnacion on fire right now. Jose Ramirez is 6th. Austin Jackson, Roberto Perez, and Eric Gonzalez rounding it out.
Jose Quintana is the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the White Sox today, and Quintana having a rough go at it right now. He's 2-7 with a 5.30 ERA in his last 6 games. You know, he has not pitched very well. ERA of over 6, but he's 7-4 in his career against the Indians, and 0-1 this year.
And a fastball strike gets ahead of Daniel Robertson.
He'll move his fastball around, spot it with a little breaking ball and occasional changeup. There's the changeup, and he will have to pitch inside to the right-handers to be successful today. That'll be a big pitch for him.
He ran the fastball upstairs and quickly disposes of Robertson on 3 pitches.
Check out the White Sox defense for you. They're rated 13th in the league. They have made 43 errors, and it's brought to you by W.B. Mason. Cabrera in left, Lurie Garcia in right. Avisail Garcia, is in right. Frazier at third, Anderson at short, Sanchez at second, Abreu at first, Narvaez behind the plate.
And a fastball in on the hands of Francisco Lindor. Lindor's average has plummeted thanks to a 6-for-41 skid over his last 11 games. And you were saying to you, it looks like maybe his swing's gotten a little long for him.
A little longer. He's hitting a lot of balls in the air, and he's attacking the ball up in the zone. Frankie's a good low ball hitter. I mean, you'd love to see line drives. You can see he carries his hands, and we showed you and documented all year where his hands are from both sides of the plate. They're almost identical. So it's going to be the same from the right as it is the left. Until you have to swing at that pitch up in the zone, don't. Just concentrate looking down in the zone. But right-handed, he has had much more success looking at the numbers.
Down on the count here, 1-2. Shot for the outside corner with his fastball, but missed. Left side of the infield pulled around for Lindor, playing him to pull it. So pretty sizable hole should he shoot one up the gut. At least to the left side of second base. Smashes it the other way down the right field line. That's a foul ball.
Well, I noticed for the first time I see him choking up a little bit here from the right side, and he just pushed that ball down the first baseline.
Let's go down to Andre.
I've got a quick story. I'll make this a quick story. For Lindor, Mike Sarbaugh, the third base coach, always has spray charts for how teams will go against you. He looked at his yesterday, and he saw that he suddenly is a pull hitter, and he looked at Sarbaugh, and he goes, that's not who I am. I got to go back to hitting it all over the place. I don't like what this looks like right now.
Now the 2-2. Yanks this one down the left field line, but that's foul.
Well, you miss the line down the right field line. You miss it when you pull the very next pitch.
Well,
but that's the approach he wants.
Right. Arch, we talk about the home runs he hit, and you're right, he's got to hit more line drives. But to him, when he saw the spray chart and didn't realize he wasn't hitting balls to right center when he was hitting right-handed or left center when he's hitting lefty, he feels like that's the issue more than anything else.
Right. Using the whole field. I can understand that, but he's hitting better from the right side than he is the left.
Here's the 2-2. And he got him looking. Back-to-back Ks for Quintana.
Yeah, perfect pitch there by Jose Quintana. Just drilled the outside corner at the knees. This is a tough pitch to hit. I don't care what count you're in. Perfect pitch.
Well, we've seen Jose Quintana for so many years now. He's been the victim of a lack of run support throughout most of his career, but I don't think we've ever seen him come into a start with, statistically anyway, numbers this bad.
I agree. And it's a little tough for his, he's the #1 guy and has been for him this year after Chris Sale. Not as easy to jump up the ladder and think you're going to face probably more of the better pitchers when you get out there. But in the Central Division, he's 2-4. And when you don't get runs, and we always said this, he was the king of the no decision. It has to wear on you, doesn't it?
I would think so. At some point, you would have to figure frustration's got to get the better of you. But you look at his numbers this year, and okay, last time out, he only went 5 1/3 down in Tampa, but he allowed 1 run. But the 2 starts before that, he got bombed.
Yeah.
He gave up 15 runs in 7 innings of work total in those 2 starts combined against Arizona and Boston. Todd Frazier, the third baseman, grabs it in foul ground. The Indians go 1-2-3. We are scoreless after 1. Here at Progressive Field, it will be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Chicago. Carlos Carrasco set him down 1-2-3 in the first. He had an 11-pitch at bat with Lurie Garcia, and then recorded the next 2 outs on 3 pitches. I feel like we're at the beach. You got a little AM/FM transistor radio going over there. Avisail Garcia taking, and a breaking ball over the outside corner for a strike. Garcia has been incredibly consistent this year. His batting average, it has hovered well above the 300 mark all season long. Pops this one to right. Robertson, with the sunglasses on, makes the catch. 1 down. And that will bring up Todd Frazier.
For Chicago, hitting fifth, the third baseman, number 21, Todd Frazier.
Frazier has been somewhat on a binge of late. In his last 12 games, he's hit 5 of his 10 home runs.
Well, as home run hitters get, they get streaky. And he likes that ball middle in, where he can turn on. But you know what he did Friday night, the game that we televised, he did a nice job of falling off some tough breaking balls against Corey Kluber, where it's not easy to do as a right-hander.
Shoots that one into right field. And the Sox have their first hit, his 3rd in the series. And a throw back to first gets away from Santana. Otherwise, Frazier would have been a dead duck. So Frazier to second base.
I had my head down giving him a single, but I didn't see him throw behind him. I mean, here he comes. There's the ball you pick up, you throw it in, and he was making the turn, and he had him dead to rights. If Santana could have caught that ball. That's got to be an error on Santana or right field.
It's a good throw. It didn't hit the dirt.
No, I know. I thought the error should have been on Santana there.
I don't know, who did they give the error to?
I think right field.
All right. So the error, at least for the moment, charged to Robertson.
Well, they may look at that one again, but
1 out, runner in scoring position. Yolmer Sanchez, the batter. And you know, right there's another example though. If Santana makes the catch,
see, it short hops him a little bit. That's why he'll give him the error.
Okay.
That's the only. It's like a catcher or a wild pitch.
Boy, on the other angle, it didn't look like a short
hop.
No,
I didn't think it did. But on that angle, I see a short hop, so that's why he'll get the error.
Okay.
And I agree with that now.
Fair enough.
Still not a bad throw.
The point being, as the former Carlos Sanchez awaits the pitch and fouls it back. Last night, Chicago had 6 runners thrown out on the bases. And Rick Renneria said afterwards, he said, okay, that's aggressive, but maybe that's a little too aggressive.
Right.
You don't want to be reckless. And he said, you know, we're going to try to score runs, but you want to avoid. I mean, that's a lot, 6 times.
It's like Little League. You keep running until they tag you.
And Frazier could have very easily been out there, and that's just.
There was no business making the big turn at first base. That's, to me, is crazy.
Sanchez reaching for it, taps it to short. Lindor off balance throw, not in time.
Yeah, it wasn't hit hard enough, and he hustled down the line to get a base hit. That's all Lindor could do. He had to come over on his backhanded side. He got rid of it as quickly as possible, made a throw, and with the guy going to third base, you have to make an accurate throw. He just beat it out. Look where he's playing, way up the middle. That's 3 hops. And your normal guy, yes, average speed will beat that out. Infield single, so now it's first and third and 1 out.
So a chance for the White Sox to draw first blood as Tim Anderson steps in. The Chicago shortstop has hit in 9 of his last 10 games. Now Anderson, a guy who runs well, takes a breaking ball for a strike. But if Santana can get ahead of him, now he can go to work with that changeup. He's induced a lot of ground balls on the changeup this year.
Yeah, he has 6 double plays on the season.
Anderson's only hit into 3. He runs well.
And it's back-to-back sliders in that first and third situation to get ahead of him 0-2. And again, advantage Carrasco.
First and third, 1 out on the second. Up and away with a fastball. Or was it? Good breaking ball, struck him out with it. That baby went straight down.
Yeah, he was not going to give him the fastball to hit or elevate. So Carrasco gets his first strikeout. Let's look at the sequence. It's all breaking balls. That 87 was the slider. Then he goes back to almost like a curveball, it looked like. But he was not going to see a fastball. If he was, it was not going to be for a strike. So he gets the second out.
Omar Narvaez, the White Sox catcher. He's been swinging the bat well of late. Pitch outside, ball 1. Narvaez was 0 for 3 on Friday night. Did not play yesterday. Outside again, 2-0. Carrasco misses again, same spot, 3-0.
All three were fastballs in this at bat where he missed, and he was able to attack Anderson with all off-speed pitches.
3-0. That fastball found the zone. It's 3-1. And he threw it by him. Narvaez was going to turn it loose. He did, but he could not catch up. And so now a full count. Yomer Sanchez will be off at first. Todd Frazier, the runner, at third. Santana will back up behind Sanchez. And here's your payoff pitch. That's fouled off. Carrasco has pounded the strike zone despite falling behind Narvaez 3-0. 23 out of 31 overall have been strikes. And again the 3-2. In the air, left field. Shallow. In comes Brantley. Makes the catch. The White Sox strand a pair. No score, middle of the second.
In the bottom of the second inning, leading off with a drive and 7-4.
Well, vote today, vote tomorrow, and vote Indians for your 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Go to Indians.com/vote and then catch all the excitement on the 88th All-Star Game, and it'll be presented by MasterCard. It'll be July 11th live on Fox.
Jose Quintana goes to work here in the second inning after the Indians win in order in the first. Carlos Santana, Edwin Encarnacion, and Jose Ramirez due up. Gets ahead of him with a breaking ball for strike one. Down low to even the count. As I was saying before the end of the bottom of the first, Quintana's overall numbers down from what we're used to seeing. But you look at his starts this year, and it's still in there. He's still very capable of shutting down the lineup. Santana grounds one to third. Frazier with an easy play. Throws him out, one away. Quintana had a start this year against Kansas City where he went 8 innings, 4-hit shutout baseball. Up in Seattle, he went 8 innings and gave up 1 run on 1 hit against the Mariners.
Well, you know, the talk that started before the season about this guy getting traded, everybody wants him. They got that left-hander. He's got control for the next few years, 2 or 3 years to go. I mean, because he's having maybe a little off year, I don't think that's going to diminish if they were to trade him what he might be worth. You know, they traded Chris Sale to Boston, and all those guys are down in the minor leagues. They made the trade Adam Eaton to the Washington. A lot of those guys are in the minor leagues. They have some good young players that, you know, you'll see in the near future.
You know, if you're Chicago, it's really a no-lose situation.
Right.
If you feel like, hey, we should try to trade him, maybe see what we can get. If nobody meets your asking price, you don't have to move him.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're very content with him. I mean, and that's the boat they're in. They have David Robertson out in the bullpen as a closer that someone would want. Abreu at first base. They're in the driver's seat. Let's put it that way. I think they're in control of what they want to do.
Encarnacion was in the driver's seat on that 2-0 pitch, but came up empty. He has homered in back-to-back games for the first time as an Indian. Almost had a 2-homer game last night, just missed as he hit one high off the left field wall. And his reaction on that swing looked like, I missed it, I popped it up. I think it fooled him that it went as far as it did.
Right. Well, here's another hitter's count.
He doesn't like it. But Mike Everett says, yeah, grazed the bottom of the zone.
It's a fastball. And let's take a look at it. Pretty good pitch, down and in. He didn't like it, but he'll get another pitch.
He smacks this one high in the air, deep center. Back is Garcia, off the wall again. He's headed to second base for at least a double, and he will hold there with a 1-out 2-bagger here in the second inning. That's his 6th double of the year, and for the 2nd straight game, he just missed yet another home run.
Yeah, that ball looked like it might have been in on the trademark a little bit. He still hit it very well, high off the wall, and Garcia really didn't play that ball very well. He jammed himself so close. Look where it hits high off the wall, and then it ricochets over his head. He's not normally, I mean, he plays center field, but he plays all over. Still, Encarnacion only got the double. That'll be his 6th on the year, so just missed another home run.
Almost looked like the way Garcia went back on it. He thought it was going to be a home run.
He did. I think he did.
Jose Ramirez looks up, high, ball 1.
But when you're a center fielder, if you know it's going to be off the wall, you come back and let it come to you, because that little warning track out there, that thing will bounce.
Jose Ramirez, the 2nd best home batting average in the American League at .363. Trying to deliver here and give the Indians an early lead. Lifts one to center. Backpedaling Garcia and makes the catch. Tagging and heading to third is Encarnacion, but now there are 2 down. So this was the pitch last night, in case you didn't see it. Watch his reaction, like, oh man.
He knew he had to. But, you know, normally he feels he hits
still
that ball.
almost went out.
I know.
And then watch his reaction as he gets to second base.
Yeah, I can't believe it got to the wall. He thought he missed the thing, but you know, he's hit so many. They know when they get him. And he felt he didn't get that one, but he still got a double. I'll take doubles all day long.
Well, that's like the one he hit Friday night. Boy, he hit that one as soon as he made contact. He knew that baby was way out of here.
See, he thought that ball was going to be out of here.
He's ready for the parrot. No, I guess not. Looking for a 2-out hit from Austin Jackson, who fouls one back. In his last 9 games in which he's had at least 1 plate appearance, Jackson has collected 5 of his 7 runs batted in. Two balls and a strike. Avisail Garcia has shortened up in right field. Probably reading the scouting reports, seeing that Jackson likes to go that way.
Yeah, but we've
shoot at that.
We've seen him drive some balls to right center field. But if that's the case, they're going to pitch him inside, and they're going to pitch him belt and up. I would think if they can, they're going to force him to maybe use those hands and try to pull a ball. Not give him anything to shoot it that way. Let's go heater in.
And off the plate. And the count is full. Roberto Perez would be next. And he walked him.
Well, he was going to make the perfect pitch or walk him. And if you walk him, then he figured I'll take my chances with Perez. So he tried to make that perfect pitch inside and missed. And the patience of Jackson pays off.
Well, here is Roberto Perez. As the Indians look for that 2-out hit with the runners in scoring position. Roberto has 9 hits on the year. 5 of them have come with a runner in scoring position. And when you talk about the super clutch hit, he's been pretty good. Throw to first and back standing Austin Jackson. Always like watching that runner at third. Every time a pitcher throws to first, that runner at third takes a couple of hard dashes off the bag just in case that ball's in the dirt, gets away from the first baseman. He's headed home.
Yeah, with the left-hander on the mound, you know he can't come to third, so you might as well break.
Fouled right back. Boy, he had one to hit. And a fastball puts him in the hole 0-2. Two on, 2 out, second inning. And an 0-2 count for Roberto Perez. High fastball, no chase. Well, after bludgeoning Baltimore 16-3 yesterday, the Yankees have come out and put 5 on the board in the first inning against the Birds.
Yeah,
in the Bronx today. Gary Sanchez with a 3-run homer. 5-0 New York.
Yeah, they've been swinging the bats.
Ground ball up the middle, and it gets by Sanchez. Encarnacion scores, and the Indians lead it 1-0 as once again Roberto Perez delivers in the clutch. Super clutch.
Well, it looked like he had that fastball down, and he drills it up the middle. Sanchez trying to get a piece of it. He dives for it, went under his glove. So Perez gets the 2-out base hit, and the Indians are going to play from in front, just underneath the glove of Sanchez. So he continues to hit well in that situation with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Hasn't been a lot of fun for him at times this year, but hey, you keep getting big hits like that.
Those are the ones that count there. Tough hit to get.
Now the youngster Eric Gonzalez making just his 4th start. He's been up with the big league club a few days shy of a full month. And he's 4 for 15 overall at the plate. One ball, one strike. This is going to be the 25th pitch of the inning for Jose Quintana after he set him down 1-2-3 in the first. Always nice when you get production from the bottom part of the order.
Yes, it is.
Oh, he had a good hack, but again, can't quite square it up. One and two the count with 2 on 2 out. Tribe grabbing the early 1-0 lead. At the end of the bat, it's going to roll foul. Well, you want to stay ready when you're a young player, but it can't be easy when the opportunities are so few and far between.
Well, and the thing about it, he's used to playing. He's an everyday player, but he's up here playing the utility role, and he's not going to play many games with Lindor and Kipnis out there. He doesn't know the league, so he's facing major league pitching for the first time. So it's very tough for a young player to be a utility guy. They really have to work extra hard.
Yeah, since he got called up, he's made 1 start at shortstop, 1 start at third base, and now this is his 2nd start at second base.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to do, and Terry knows that.
He was one of those guys once upon a time.
He knows how tough it is for young players to do that. But you can teach these young guys at this level, and I mean, it's nice when you play every day because you can learn. But he's up here, he's got to just push himself a little bit more so he can learn at the big league level. But he's worked a full count. The runners will be off and going. Put it in play, find a gap.
All 4 of his hits have come here at home. There go the runners, and a ground ball up the middle, but right there to grab it is Sanchez, and the side is retired. But the Indians grab a 1-0 lead on a 2-out RBI single by Roberto Perez. 1-0 Cleveland. this Sunday afternoon. And stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Boy, the joint was jumping down here Friday night. Indians got a win. Cavs stayed alive. Everybody left downtown in a good mood.
A lot of people downtown here between these two venues.
This fireworks show was weird too, because I mentioned to you as we arrived at the ballpark Friday afternoon, you know, you get obviously the start of a homestand, Cavs in the NBA Finals trying to stave off elimination, and yet there was just sort of this eerie silence throughout downtown. There was no buzz. There weren't nobody's really making noise. Okay, I get it.
Had to wait and see. They were
down
nervous.
3-0. It's not a time to celebrate, but boy, what a difference a few hours made once everything got really cranked up. The attitude and the mood and the energy really changed drastically here, and for the better. And we'll see if the Cavaliers can do it again tomorrow night. And don't forget to tune in to Fox Sports Ohio for all the pregame coverage with the home team starting five. They'll be there in Oakland. Lurie Garcia grounded out his first time up, and it was a sensational play. It's one of those plays you're like, wow, what a way to start a game, because it goes off of Carrasco's glove. Gonzalez made a nifty play headed up the middle, and then he threw him out. Now Garcia shoots one through the left side of the infield.
Well, he saw everything Carrasco had in his first at bat. What was it, 10 or 11 pitch at bat?
Yeah,
And they ended up making a nice play to get him out, and he comes up and gets a base hit this time. So he had an opportunity to see everything Carlos featured, and he gets that breaking ball away and stayed on it nicely. Hits it between the shortstop and the third baseman. That's the third hit now for Chicago.
Melky Cabrera flied to left on the only pitch he saw his first time up. Cabrera with 5 hits in the series. His only problem is getting home. He's been thrown out 3 times at the plate.
You can't touch home plate. No, no, no. He's been thrown out a couple times coming in.
Well, I think wasn't it I think twice yesterday and then once on Friday.
Friday night, yeah. Zimmer got him Friday night. The White Sox, a team, they don't have good team speed. That's why they have to try and stay aggressive on the bases. They've stolen 24, but they've been caught 18 times.
Yeah.
So not very good ratios. The best is Anderson, who's stolen 5 out of 5.
Well, Garcia, the runner at first, has stolen 6, but he's been thrown out 4 times.
6 out of 10. If you're a base stealer, I mean, it's nice when you're stealing bases to get to that 80% level if possible. 70, you know, you don't want to see it go below that because you're giving out outs if you can't steal them.
Wow, close pitch, but just outside. It's 2-0. One 0 Cleveland here in the third. Melky Cabrera has 10 hits on this current road trip for Chicago, and I think they're going home for 3 games and then they're right back out again. You know, I thought we had played a lot of games on the road.
We did, but
they played more.
Yeah, they have played more. They were behind us always. Plus, they had some rainouts that they had to make up. But yeah, it's a little short homestand, and then it's back out. But you know what? It all evens out over the course of the year. 81 and 81. They'll be home for 5. I think they get Baltimore. Well, let's see if he starts a runner this time. 3-2 count to Cabrera. Are they just going to stay put?
He's off. And it's low. Ball 4. Boy, Melky Cabrera wasn't even sure. Everybody sort of hesitated, waiting. And Mike Everett saying it's ball 4.
Now stepping to the plate for the White Sox.
Well, this is Cabrera on the bases in this series. Friday night, Zimmer. He turns to look and see where the ball's coming from. Yeah, he was thrown out. Here comes last night. Lindor makes the throw. Out again. Milky saying, all right, what's going on here?
Swung out and missed by Jose Abreu. The other time that he was thrown out at the plate last night was on a force-out situation with the bases loaded.
They will not let him pass go.
Well, let's hope it stays that way, because right now Chicago threatening with the meat of their order coming up. 2 on, 1 out.
Let's see, after that first swing right there by Abreu, he was trying to pull that breaking ball. He's going to see other ones in this at bat, see if he tries to shoot him to right field. This guy adjusts to the situations for a big man. We showed you his hit by direction. You know, last year he's just so consistent. And wow, look at home. He doesn't have a home run at home this year.
That's hard to believe.
And only 9 ribbies. Yeah, because that's a really good ballpark to hit in. Like you said, they played the fewest home games. But still, this guy, he'll use the whole field. That's what makes him a good RBI guy.
Jam job to second.
Double
play ball. And on to first. They're out of the inning. Carlos Carrasco induces Abreu into a 2 for 1. And the inning is over with the Indians leading at 1-0.
Presented by Cleveland Clinic's Children's is the official kids fan club of the Indians for kids 6 to 14. Memberships are $20 and they include invitations to exclusive events and tribe gear. Visit Indians.com for more information.
We move to the bottom half of the third. Top of the order due up for Cleveland.
Looked like he went.
He did not, says first base Ryan Blakeney. On the year, Arch, Jose Quintana, when facing a lineup first time around, they've hit 245, but it jumps up to 313 second time through.
Well, he's going through that right now.
1-on-1 to count on Daniel Robertson. Ground ball up the middle. Cut off by Anderson. His throw to first, not in time. Robertson beats it out. Abreu had to come off the bag anyway. And a leadoff single to start the home half of the third.
Well, good effort by Anderson, but he did everything in his power. Robertson hustles down the line and beats it out. Had to be a perfect throw, and when you're running as fast as he is and on the move to make a good throw like that, I'm surprised he got it close. I was expecting him to launch it over the head of Abreu, but good effort, and it's an infield single for Robertson.
And we'll bring up Francisco Lindor. So as long as you've been around the game, you have expressed a number of times that one of the most important elements for an everyday player is to maintain the same disposition, the same approach day in, day out, regardless of how many hits you have, what kind of a day it is. They get him out of the box. It did, and he's out.
Yeah, he was out in front of home plate, out of the batter's box. It hit him, and he's called out.
Dan Robertson will have to go back to first.
Terry's going to come out and ask the umpire to maybe get some help on that one, because the home plate umpire, Mike Everett, made the call. He was going to push it. And let's take a look and see. He pushes it. It goes down.
Oh,
now
he's
it
still
gets
in the box.
Well, is that left foot in the box? It's hard to tell from that angle, Matt. And it's not a reviewable play, I don't believe.
He is out. But it looks like the ball hits him while he's still in the box. He's still in the box.
Well,
clearly.
He obviously isn't there. They called him out. Unfortunately, you can't review that.
No, and that's one of those goofy plays. Look, if you're going to have replay, it doesn't make any sense why that in particular play is not something that you could at least take another look at. Because Mike Everett, he's going to be blocked by the hitter.
Or the catcher getting up to go make the play.
Well, one down. Michael Brantley, the batter.
Let's see if his the foot is in the box here when it hits him.
Sure is.
There it is.
Clearly in the box.
Yeah, it looked like it was there.
But I understand that's a split-second call by the home plate umpire. He's blocked. How could he even tell when the ball actually hit Frank?
He probably couldn't. But yeah, that's a rarity. You don't see that call much anymore. You don't see it rarely. Well, one reason probably because they don't bunt a lot anymore.
Brantley shoots one towards short. Anderson scoops it, looks to second, slings it over to first, 2 down. Robertson moves into scoring position. Here, my only question with that play too, Rick, is that as Terry came out, I don't know what specifically he said to Mike Everett, but why in that instance, if you're the home plate umpire and you appear to be at least somewhat blind, maybe he did feel like he had a really clear look at it. Why not go to first base and ask the umpire, hey, what did you see it?
Well, he would tell the umpire or tell the manager, I saw it clearly.
Obviously,
I thought he was out, or he would have.
Yeah.
If there was any question, I think, and I'm thinking that's what Terry probably asked him. Would you go just check and get some help? He said, I'm sure he told him, no, I saw it, and he was out. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. Carlos Santana grounded out his only time up in the second inning. turn and throw back, but Robertson really not that far off the bag. He had a good lead, but not anything that would approach overly aggressive there. Ground ball to third. Backhanded nicely by Frazier. Took a wicked hop on him. But he throws him out. The side is retired. We played 3. Cleveland 1. Chicago nothing. Minute baseball break. Boy, Aaron Judge, Arch, 19 home runs. He's leading all of baseball.
Yeah, this has an unbelievable year going right now. Big guy, big kid, strong. They say he hits it as hard and as far as anybody. Well, he has some impressive numbers working this year.
Orioles have come back with 3 runs in the 3rd inning of that game against New York. 5-3 Yankees. They're still in the 3rd. Pitch in tight to Aviseo Garcia. The 1-0, and Garcia pops it up. Foul ground. Is it playable? Santana to the seating. Can't get there.
Looking into the sun.
Yeah, and he wasn't high enough to where he could really look for the seats and then re-establish contact with the ball up in the air.
And then what you're doing, you're running it into the sun. Watch, he has to turn away, and he has no idea where where the seats are. Yeah, not high enough. He was jammed by that pitch. Very difficult play. I'll tell you, as a first baseman, he can go get those balls like that, and you know, with his back to the infield, he's very good at it for not being a first baseman.
Ground ball to short. Lindor throws him out, 1 down. Rick, we always say that when the season comes to an end, you play 81 at home, you play 81 on the road, no matter how you divvy it up.
Slice it.
But is there anything to the theory of road fatigue? In other words, the White Sox, this is their 4th road trip of the season. All 4 road trips so far have been 3 city trips. 9 game, 10 game, 10 game, and now this is a 9 game covering 10 days.
Yeah.
They still have an 11-day trip coming up later this season. but all of their trips have been long to start the year.
You know what? We had 6 a couple of years ago. And you know what? There is something to that. I mean, this is the first half, and you have all 4 of them are 3-city trips. They're long. We've been blessed. We've only had 1 to this point.
We have 2 coming up, I think, later in the year, either August or late August.
Yeah.
We've got back-to-back long trips.
There is, yeah, sometimes where you do get road weary. And you know, usually at the end of a long trip, you could have a little clunker where you may see some concentration lapse and guys sort of like, I can't wait to get home tomorrow, because even though we're only going to be there, you're thinking about what you have to do when you get there.
Maybe the fact that the White Sox have spent so much time on the road, they're kind of used to it by now.
Yeah, they're probably saying, let's just stay here and play the rest of our schedule until we go home.
The 1-1. Here's the weird thing about scheduling. And then there's no perfect schedule. Sometimes
everybody complains about it.
Some years are really good. Some years they're not so good. But all this time the White Sox have been on the road. They're going home after today for a 4-game series and then right back on the road again for a 2-city road trip covering a week. Threw the bat at it and bangs it into center field. One-out single.
That's good hitting right there. You tip your cap.
Frazier's 2 for 2.
Carrasco had him down in the count 1-2. He made a good pitch on him, and he almost throws the bat out there to hit it. You can see where he was fooled on it. He kept his hands back enough. So good hitting by Frazier. 1-out single. He is now 2 for 2, and that's hit number 4 for the White Sox.
Santana got a double play ball to get out of the 3rd. Yomer Sanchez threw his bat at a pitch in the 2nd inning and picked up an infield single between 3rd and short.
I'll tell you, so far the White Sox today, they have 4 hits, and all 4 have come after an 0-1 count when Carrasco gets ahead, which he so often does. And that's a tougher way to go, man. You know, I'd say the pressure's on the hitter, but they've done a good job of battling against Carlos. They haven't got on the board yet as far as the run department, but they've scrapped and they've been able to get their hits.
To center field. Routine play for Austin Jackson. And there are 2 down.
Well, KeyBank Kids tickets located in the family deck at Progressive Field, right behind the expanded kids clubhouse. They start at $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They are only available at Indians.com. Carrasco this afternoon, 8 outs on 3 pitches or less. He always seems to do a pretty good job there.
Tim Anderson struck out his only time up.
Yeah, and he had an opportunity with a runner on 3rd base to get a run home, and it was a steady diet of off-speed pitches by Carrasco, and he sees one more to get another strike on Anderson.
You know, that was one of those at bats. You got 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and you always hear, you know, there are certain points in a ballgame where a pitcher needs a strikeout, and that was one in particular. And man, he went to work on and made some really good pitches.
That last pitch, the first fastball he's seen today, and that was off the plate. There it is, followed up with another good fastball.
From just off the plate to just on the edge of the plate.
This one had a little comeback to it. And when that ball moves like that, that ends up being a good pitch because Perez is sitting off the dish. He starts out there, but it has some movement back onto the plate. Another breaking ball, I would imagine, here.
And the 1-2. Got him. Dynamite breaking ball strikes him out, his second K of the afternoon. Both times it's been Mr. Anderson. AARP getting to know Don Cooper. Don's only 61, by the way, but he's worked in a White Sox organization since 1988. He's been a pitching coach since July of '02.
Yeah, 16 years. He's been up there as a pitching coach.
He was a 17th round pick of the Yankees just a few years after you were drafted by the Tribe. He always seems to have a steadying influence, and I think that's probably all you really want from a pitching coach, just a guy that kind of keep everybody.
Boy, and throughout his tenure as a White Sox pitching coach, he has had his share of left-handed pitchers, hasn't he? I see where they're going to retire Mark Burley's jersey back in Chicago a little later on in the year. And how many times did we face him throughout the years? A guy that would come out and get the ball and just go. Let's go. Yeah. Throw strikes. That's his kind of pitcher right there, Mark Burley. He'd be anybody's kind of pitcher.
Edwin Encarnacion doubled off the wall and left in the second inning.
Yeah, you talk about the White Sox, you talk about pitchers, you talk about now disabled list. They have 6 of them on the disabled list. Nate Jones, Zach Putnam, Carlos Rodon, another left-handed pitcher that this lineup really misses this team. Yeah, he's a good quality left-handed pitcher.
He's getting ready to go out in his second rehab start, so they're hoping to get him back soon. 1-1 to Edwin. It's down low. Encarnacion now tied with Francisco Lindor for the team lead in home runs with a dozen. Down low again. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, the same count that Encarnacion has had the last 2 at bats. 3-1. He doubled in his last at bat on a 3-2 pitch after he didn't like the 3-1 call.
And that's ball 4. The leadoff man aboard. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at L. And here's the whole list, Arch. James Shields is on that DL.
Yeah, he's getting ready to come back. Michael Inoue. You know, Jones, Putnam, they're out of the bullpen. Rodon, the starter, and Covey, he started for them a few times.
And a strike to Jose Ramirez, who flied to center his only time up. Jose Quintana came in with an ERA of 6.68 in his last 6 starts. Inside, he missed. It's 2-1. Indians put up a run in the 2nd inning on the 2-out RBI single by Roberto Perez that played at Encarnacion. Foul back there on the backswing. He nailed Narvaez, the catcher.
Send out some birthday wishes. Edward Purrow of Richmond Heights is turning 92. And we'd like to send out congratulations to Bob and Kitty Atkinson celebrating their 68th wedding anniversary. Bob was an old fantasy camper back in 2000. So congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Narvaez says, give me a couple aspirin. Now the 2-2. And a full count. Ground ball. Right side, Sanchez sliding, stops it, goes to second. Do they get the force? They do. Bang bang play. Encarnacion, the lead runner, is called out by second base umpire Jordan Baker. Terry Francona will peek back into the dugout to see if they want to challenge this.
Pretty aggressive play to go for the lead runner, but then you see Anderson, he's going to act like a first baseman. He's out. He had the foot on the base. They wanted to make sure they get that lead runner. Now Ramirez is on first.
I think the only question was, did he stay on the bag? And just barely. Looked like he did. Austin Jackson walked his only time up in the 2nd inning. He went around and says home plate ump Mike Everett. .35 of 62 for strikes for Quintana. And to this point, he's only allowed 3 hits. 2 of them came in the 2nd, leading to the only run of the game.
Yeah, and it took a 2-out base hit to get that run home. Again, we talk about Quintana. He's got to go out there and he always has to feel like, man, I can't give up many because my offense isn't behind me. You know, 7 starts with 1 or no runs scored when he's out on the mound. In 4 games, 0. So he's used to having to keep it close.
Line drive, base hit center. Ramirez stops at second. And the Indians have 2 on with 1 out here in the 4th.
Again, using the big part of the field. Austin Jackson, a base hit up the middle.
Let's go down to Andre.
You know, there's so much talk about Quintana and his numbers not being the same. And I heard you guys talk a little bit earlier about Chris Sale being gone and him going against better pitchers and better lineups. But I got a question for you guys. Is it possible that he throws too many strikes? He's around the plate too much. I've heard scouts say it. I've heard a couple of our players say that they like that he throws strikes. It keeps them aggressive. Is there such a thing as throwing too many strikes?
Only if they're not quality strikes. I mean, that's the one thing I heard years ago about young pitchers, that if you're throwing strikes but they're in the fat part of the strike zone, that's not good.
Well, he knows how to pitch, and you know what? He may be in the zone too much for other people, but I mean that's just the way they pitch. When guys throw strikes or strike throwers or pitchers, they have a tough time throwing balls. Even when you get ahead 0-2, they don't want to waste anything. I think we see more 0-2 hits now and 0-2 homers now than we have ever.
Fly ball center field. Racing back Lurie Garcia. Runs it down just shy of the warning track. Ramirez tags at second, flies into third, forcing them to make a good throw. They do. And there are runners at the corners with 2 down. Roberto gave it a ride, but Garcia able to run it down. And with 2 gone, it will bring up Eric Gonzalez. I think sometimes, to Andre's point, it depends on the hitter too. I mean, if you get ahead of a really good hitter, like say, I don't know, Jose Abreu, for example, in this series, or Michael Brantley, you know, somebody that has a really good eye, if you get ahead of them with 2 strikes, you don't want to make too good of a pitch because they can hurt you with it, or at least get a base hit.
Well,
so maybe you do want to see if they'll go out and chase a pitch,
or you'll let them back into the at bat.
That's
the good
the other
hitters.
thing.
They'll take their walks. You know what I mean? The hitters that don't mind hitting with 2 strikes, you know, you can stay aggressive and try and pitch to them.
Santana's a guy we see.
The aggressive hitters is where you want to expand the zone with, and you know those guys, they're going to be at the bottom part of the lineup, and a lot of guys will swing at everything.
Runner goes. Jackson got a good break, but it's fouled back. You know, Carlos Santana's a guy who we've seen. He'll be down 0-2, and the next thing you know, it's back to 2-2, 3-2.
Yeah, when hitters are going good, they don't mind hitting with 2 strikes because their confidence is there. They're seeing the ball well. When they don't, you get a lot of guys to chase. It all depends on how they're going, what kind of streak they're in. Also, how you're throwing the baseball as a pitcher.
2 on, 2 out. A lob to first. Chases Austin back. Bounced it, and a good block by Narvaez.
That was a nice job by Narvaez to keep it out in front, because that Jackson couldn't even get to second base. That's the pitch that you look for when you're on first base. Ball in the dirt. When there's 2 strikes on the hitter, to get yourself into scoring position if you can.
Up high with the 2-2. So he's right back in the count. Oh, it gets away, and that's going to get a run home. Ramirez scores. Jackson down to second. On the wild pitch, it's 2-0 Cleveland.
Yeah, they're going to say thank you very much there. He got lucky 2 pitches ago when he threw one in the dirt. It didn't get away. But that one does on the wild pitch. His 5th wild pitch on the year. It's the breaking ball down and in. Narvaez tried to put his body and smother it, and I think it deflected off his arm. Back to the screen, and Ramirez scores. Jackson moves up. It's now a 2-0 game.
The 3-2. Ground ball up the middle. It's through. Around third, Austin Jackson will score. Eric Gonzalez delivers a 2-out RBI single.
Now those could be backbreakers right there, where he had a chance to get out of the inning. Keep it a 1-0 ball game. The wild pitch allows it, and then the next pitch you get a base hit, and it's 3-0 now, and another 2-out base hit. One by Perez hitting 8th, one by Gonzalez hitting 9th. So the bottom of the order doing a lot of the work today.
Well, you go back, Rick, 2 pitches ago. He threw a breaking ball to Gonzalez that got away. That allowed a run home. Then he comes back with the fastball, and Gonzalez whacks it right back up the middle. So the young man with his first career run batted in extends the Indians lead to 3-0. Now Daniel Robertson had an infield single his last time up. That's away, and it's 1-1. Robertson has now picked up a hit in 10 of the 13 games that he has started this year. And he's gone 10 for 26 against left-handed pitching. Down on the dirt.
Heads up play right there.
Eric Gonzalez aggressively gets to second.
He read it beautifully. That to me right there. That's good hustle. That's paying attention. That's anticipating that ball's going to be in the dirt. He did not hesitate. Narvaez said he never even thought he was going, and they didn't hear anything. But watch how quickly. Look at, he had the one step and was off and running by the time he could come up and make that throw. Another wild pitch and a very good read right there.
Jose Quintana with a runner in scoring position now, 2 down. A couple of runs in here in the inning. Spun him out of the way, almost nicked him. And so a full count for Robertson. He needed a lot of pitches to get through the second. He's having to grind his way now through here the fourth. Chopped to third. Frazier has it. And the inning is over. Eric Gonzalez, making just his 4th start of the season, has had an impact on both sides of the ball here today. The Indians lead it 3-0. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by Cleveland Clinic, Express Care online. Download it now for free. And with the Indians now on top 3-0, Carlos Carrasco goes to work with Eric Gonzalez playing a terrific game behind him today. Boy, not only is it nice to get the opportunity to play when you're a young guy like that, but to have an impact, it's got to make him feel like he's walking on cloud nine. Right?
Yeah, it's fun. Well, that's what he's saying. I need a chance. Let me play. You get the opportunity. It is fun when you can produce.
Omar Narvaez, the catcher, leading off for Chicago here in the 5th. And 2 strikes from Carrasco. Bouncing ball to second base, and Eric Gonzalez will throw out Narvaez. 1 down. Time for a game break. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's head out to Houston, where the Angels taking on the Astros, and the Astros might lead the Angels by 13 in the standings, but today the Angels have the early lead thanks to Albert Pujols, his 601st home run of his career, 10th of the year. 1-0 Angels over the Astros, 3rd inning in Houston, fellas.
All right, thanks, Al. Here is Matt Davidson. He fouled out his only time up. And Davidson in a slide that has seen him go 1 for his last 17 with 9 strikeouts.
Well, this is the 3rd time that Carlos Carrasco has faced the White Sox this year, and he's done a number on them. He's into the 5th inning here. He had 15 innings prior to that, 7 hits, so add 4 more. That's 11 out of his 20 innings, or close to it. And he's been very stingy.
Swung out and missed. Carrasco strikes him out. That's his 3rd K of the afternoon, and there are 2 down in the 5th. Player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. And we are going back to the 1980 MLB draft. Rick Renteria drafted 20th overall by the Pirates. And Terry Francona went to the Expos with the 22nd pick. How about Billy Beane? Went 23rd to the Mets, and then John Gibbons, manager of the Blue Jays, right after that. Two down, Lurie Garcia. 1 for 2 today. Did he go? Nope, that's according to Bruce Dreckman. Count 2-0. Smacked right field. Robertson racing over, cuts it off, and Garcia has to hold with a 2-out single.
Well, he's 2 for 3. He swung the bat very well off Carlos today.
He's had 3 good at bats.
Yes, he has. This time he pulls the ball. He hit one to. His first out was up the middle, but Carrasco deflected it, and Gonzalez made the play. He went to left field. This time he pulls it, so he has used every field. He's had a good afternoon to this point, but it's a 2-out single, and Carrasco with a chance to get out of this inning right now.
Melky Cabrera flied to left in the first, walked in the third. And Carrasco delivers down low. Runner goes. It's outside the throw, and the tag is in time. They got him. Lindor slapped the tag quickly on Garcia, who is erased for the 5th time trying to steal this year. And that should end the inning. The White Sox determining as whether or not they want to have them take another look at it. They say no thank you, and the inning is officially over. So Roberto Perez cuts down Garcia, and Frankie just did get the tag on it, blocked his arm right off the bag. If you go head first, sometimes bad things can happen to you as a base runner. Watch the left hand or wrist of Lurie Garcia right into the leg of Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, the spike, it looked like. And his wrist is sore. He's out of the ball game. But he was out. And guess what?
Another Garcia.
We place him with a Garcia. Garcia for Garcia.
They had 3 Garcias on the 25-man roster. Willie takes over for Lurie. Francisco Lindor leads off, and a swing and a miss for strike one. Lindor 0 for 2 is struck out, and then he was called out on a bunt attempt in the 3rd inning. The umpire, home plate umpire Mike Everett, thought it hit him out of the box. The 0-1. And it very well may have hit him while he was out of the box, but on the replay we could see it clearly hit him first while he was still in the box, which would have made it a dead ball. But that's not a play that's reviewable. And the 1-1. Fouled back and out of play. So a full count for Lindor, who came into today hitting just over 300 against left-handed pitching. And he smacks this one a deep left. Back is Cabrera running it down. One away. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Michael Brantley against the AL Central over the last couple of years has had his way, batting .333, 19 homers. Of course, remember, he didn't play hardly at all last year.
Right. Very good numbers.
Overall, Brantley, over his last 25 games coming into this afternoon, had hit .306. But in those 25 games, kind of emblematic of the Indians' offensive struggles. 8 runs scored, 8 runs batted in. Not a lot of action for your number 3 hitter over a 25-game stretch. But, you know, you think about it, and both Jason Kipnis and Francisco Lindor have had their struggles offensively here in the last couple of weeks. And so if there aren't opportunities to drive in runs.
Right. You have to have opportunities. And you need it. It's the whole team pitching in.
2-2.
29. This is game number 60 for the Indians. When you talk about, you know, everybody has to pitch in. 29 times they've scored 3 or less runs. So, I mean, that's almost 50% almost. So, you know, the opportunities haven't been there a lot. And at times when they have been, they haven't had a chance to take advantage of it. So that's what you're looking for when you get a little more consistency, guys that can get on and make things happen. But sometimes it gets very tough to do it.
Now the 3-2 pitch is a ground ball to second base. And along those same lines, you said what, 29 games?
Yeah.
3 runs or less?
Yeah.
32 games out of the 60 they've had either 1 or no hits with a runner in scoring position. So if you don't get those clutch hits, you're not going to score.
Right. Well, today the first 2, a wild pitch they scored, and then 2 out base hits, 1 by Perez, 1 by Gonzalez. That's the 8 and 9 hitters. So at least you have 2 hits today with runners in scoring position and with 2 outs. Those are the toughest ones to get. And
they're getting a really well pitched game to this point from Carlos Santana.
Yes, they are.
5 shutout innings. Carlos Carrasco has pitched well. Carlos Santana is 0 for 2, has grounded out twice.
And that's why they're on the verge of, you can take the White Sox right out of it here if you could put any more on the way Carrasco is pitched.
1-0 to Santana is down and in. The White Sox must wonder what it is Carrasco has over them, some kind of a spell, because he's now thrown 20 innings this year and he's given up 1 run to this Chicago club.
Well, he just, for some reason, it's hard to say. He's pitching well against the White Sox this year. It's like Josh Tomlin against Kansas City. You know, he's pitched very well against Kansas City this year.
Josh disappointed after yesterday's game. He said, I'm the one guy that didn't do my job.
Well, and you come out in your next start and you're looking for, you know, just let's go have a nice 1-2-3 inning to set the tempo, and they, you know, the first 3 guys got base hits and they scored 3 early.
Look out, Santana turn on that pitch. Almost knocked one of Cleveland's finest off his stool down there past the dugout.
He's wide awake. He's ready to. He's ready. You have to be when you're that close.
third strike. Santana not in agreement with Mike Everett. But the inning is over. Carlos Carrasco goes back to work with a 3-0 lead when we return. The Indians having all the fun so far. Scoring started in the second inning. Our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2 out, RBI single by Roberto Perez, played at Edwin Encarnacion. Then a wild pitch brought home Jose Ramirez in the fourth. 2 batters later, another 2 out RBI single. This one coming from Eric Gonzalez, his first major league run batted in. And that's where we stand thanks to Carlos Carrasco, who has dazzled with 5 shutout innings. Gonzalez and Perez doing the heavy lifting offensively. And Carrasco doing his thing out there on the hill. Carrasco with the first pitch strike to Melky Cabrera, who has flied out and walked.
Carlos scattered 5 hits today. But you look at him throughout this year, the 6th inning has been his toughest inning. With the highest ERA, 6.75. But he's going to go through the heart of the lineup right here. He's still at 73 pitches, so he's been very good today.
You can hear Cabrera
Could you
holler as he went to the deck, getting out of the way.
He felt like that ball was going to hit him. Listen to this. It would have been worse if you would have heard a yelp if it would have hit him.
Now the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Boy, that was nasty. Right down and in on him. And Cabrera is the 4th strikeout victim of Carrasco here today.
Well, and then you go back in there with a slider. That was really a tight, hard slider. It started off a ball, and it's just going to continue to run in, but he got him to swing at it anyway.
Oh, Abreu gets drilled for the 2nd game in a row.
That's Carrasco's 5th hitter that he has hit this year. It was Andrew Miller that got him Friday night. This one comes in and gets him on the arm. Left bicep, didn't get the elbow out of the way. And Friday night he took one up the front knee, or just below it. So between the knee and the arm,
yeah. Now
his left side's going to be a little sore.
No, it doesn't matter that it was a breaking ball because of where it hit him on that knee, the bony part of the side of your knee. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But that was an off-speed pitch from Andrew Miller. This was a fastball that I think plunked him from Carrasco. Just ran in on him. So 1 on, 1 out, and Avisail Garcia stepping in. Garcia 0 for 2 today. Hits even at 5 apiece. And Garcia drills one to deep left. It's over Brantley's head. He'll play it off the wall. He's going to hold Garcia to a long single, maybe. Here's the throw to second, and he is. Oh, they call him safe.
Did he tag him?
Gonzalez points to the dugout. He feels like maybe he did tag him, but the umpire Jordan Baker said he didn't. Let's see if we get another look at it.
You know, I saw Garcia really rounding first before, and Brantley had the ball.
I think he's safe.
Well, if he doesn't tag him, he might be.
I think by the time he got the tag on him, Garcia had already grabbed the bag.
Here we go. He's sliding in. He doesn't have the base yet.
Oh, it's close.
Boy, that is awfully close. But he's called safe. And
Number 21,
I guess they're not going to challenge it, are they? So he is safe. Okay. So there's the double. There's your break to hit batter a double. Now Chicago in business. Second and third, no 1 out.
Boy, that's again, it goes back to what Rick Renneria said about his club. Being aggressive, but not reckless. That was fair. I mean, within a fraction of an inch of having yet another runner thrown out on the bases right there, and you're down 3 runs.
I know, but Garcia didn't even look. He had his head down. He thought double all the way. And I mean, it's not that he wasn't hustling. He was. Brantley played it pretty well and made a strong throw.
I thought the way Michael played it off the wall that Garcia wouldn't even try.
Well, he wasn't looking, but he kept going. That's why I thought he was going to be out.
Well, Chicago with an opportunity to claw right back into this game. And Andrew Miller is up in the Cleveland bullpen. And he missed 3-1. Two on, 1 out, 6th inning. The basher Frazier at the plate. Yolmer Sanchez waiting on deck. Fouled right back.
Well, he went 3-1 slider. See if he comes back with it, and see if Frazier's patient enough to shoot him the other way if he throws it.
Roberto's going to go out for a quick chat. You know, every start that Carrasco made in the month of May, he left with the lead. His only start so far this month, he left trailing. That was against Kansas City.
Yeah, but he had a 3-0 lead before he ended up coming out of that game.
That was June the 3rd, so he's at a full 7 days rest. Here's the payoff pitch. Chopped up the third base line, and it will stay foul.
Yeah, Carlos has been blessed this year with some very good run support. Last 6 games averaging, they've been getting him 8 runs. Here's ball. It's just going to stay foul. Grab it while you can.
Once again, the 3-2. Frazier tattoos this one to deep left. It's over Brantley's head and off the wall. 2 will score. Frazier heading to second. The throw to Gonzalez, and he is safe.
Boy, another bang play at second base.
So the White Sox close the gap to a single run on a 2-run double by Todd Frazier, and it's 3-2.
Back-to-back doubles. Frazier now 3 for 3 on the afternoon, and he gets a fastball out over the plate, and he again hits it off the wall. Boy, they've had 2 very good swings.
Wow, Terry Francona, he wants this game badly. He's going to yank Carlos Carrasco after just 5 1/3 innings. And back-to-back doubles. It started when he hit Abreu, and then back-to-back doubles after that. 2 runs are in. The tying run is at second.
Again.
And Andrew Miller is into the ball game here in the 6th inning.
Yeah.
With the Indians clinging to a 1-run lead. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. We'll be right back. Quickly.
Boy, he was, I mean, just breezing through the first 5. Then he hit Abreu, and then back-to-back doubles. And Terry Francona does not want to take any chances. Told you at the start of that inning, CC's ERA in the 6th inning is over 6, so he wastes no time.
Miller pitched 2 scoreless against the White Sox Friday night. Did not work yesterday. Off day tomorrow. So this is a situation where I would imagine he goes at least an inning and 2/3. At least that would be the plan for him to try to pitch through the 7th. Yolmer Sanchez fouls the first pitch out of play to the right. Andrew Miller, as you take a look at the numbers for Sanchez, Miller is one appearance behind Brian Shaw for the team lead. Shaw has made 28 appearances. He's gone 28 2/3 innings. Miller has pitched now the 27th time this year, already 29 2/3 innings. Right field, slicing near the line, foul. Yolmer Sanchez showed up at spring training this year with a new name. He previously had gone by his middle name, Carlos Sanchez.
Yeah,
but he thought,
he knew that was
there's a lot of people named Carlos Sanchez. There's not many named Yolmers.
I can't wait till next year. I'm coming back with a different name too. My middle name.
I think Javier would suit you well.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I got a better one than that.
Eugene.
Yeah, we're coming back with the Jeep.
The 0-2 is low and away. Well, Sanchez has done a nice job. He's 1 for 2 today, batting over 300 in his last 15 games. Got him looking. Oh, he painted the outside corner. Sanchez not happy as he barks his way back to the dugout.
Yeah, let's take a look at it, see what you think. Breaking ball. Wow, that's a pitch you can't hit. That's about the only way you're going to get out. That looked like it wrapped around, but he gets the call. So that's out number 2. Good break for the Tribe.
Tim Anderson has struck out twice today. And when he faced Andrew Miller on Friday night, he at least made contact. He popped up on the infield after Miller had struck out 3 in a row. Tying run at second base. A little bit outside 1-1. Tied him up. Boy, that was a nice pitch. It's one of those pitches that I'm sure as a hitter it looks pretty good as it's coming your way,
but
then it just never stops eating you up.
Right, it never stops breaking. That's exactly right. And then after he threw that pitch, he called Perez out there and wanted to talk to him about something. So he wanted to maybe go with one pitch if it doesn't work to set up the second pitch. We'll see how it goes. But you're right. It's hard. Once you commit to that pitch, you're done. You can't hold on.
Got him in the dirt. Roberto will just have to tag him out, and that ends the inning. Andrew Miller puts out the fire. White Sox get a pair. It's a 1-run game as we go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 Cleveland. the grand prize of a VIP experience to the Luke Bryan concert here at Progressive Field July 15th. Enter the sweepstakes now at foxsportsohio.com. New pitcher for the White Sox, right-hander Chris Beck. In 11 outings on the road this year, he has given up just 2 earned runs in 13 2/3 innings.
Yeah, we already told you earlier, you're seeing players come out of that pen they're not used to. 3 of the 8 relievers that were on the opening day roster are on the disabled list.
Edwin Encarnacion doubled and scored in the second, walked his last time up. Buckled him with a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Hammer, deep left, stay fair. It is over the foul pole. No, foul ball.
I don't know. I think, look at Mike Sarbaugh saying, you go challenge that. Encarnacion is thinking the same thing. And man, that was a long home run. It was above the foul pole.
Tito's going to ask him to take a look.
Yes, he will. Now, you know, a number of times on these balls, the guy that's closest to it sometimes has the worst view.
Encarnacion feeling like it was a home run from his vantage point down on the field. I thought it was right over the top of the pole. And that looks like it certainly is.
It does, but that's an angle that I don't know if that's our high home camera or what. That's hard to see. Look at him. He thought it was a homer. There's no doubt. He knows it's gone. Boy, he has had that stroke working. And Beck's hoping. And he says, what happened? Yeah, foul ball. At least it's called foul.
If it's directly over the foul pole, it should be a home run. The question is there an angle that definitively shows it's directly above it? It appears to be that way on the one angle we had.
This may take a while.
Yeah. Let's take another look here.
We're going to have to start putting lasers above the foul poles. I mean, that's a hard look, you know, for us from back here.
But it sure looks like if you extend the foul pole straight up.
I thought it was my first look from where we're sitting. I thought it was a fair ball, but hard to tell. We'll see. Does the parrot come out of the cage? No, foul ball.
Well, I don't know. I guess they're going to say that there's not enough definitive proof. Yeah, they're going to say the call stands, which is basically
they don't have enough evidence to overturn it. Unfortunate, because that would have been nice. That would have been an insurance run with one swing of the bat.
Now the 1-2. Low and away. drops and foul. Out of play, Encarnacion.
So you can tell Eddie's locked in now because he's falling off pitches that he's on that he used to pull off of, maybe swing and miss at. He's falling off the right side. Some better pitches to stay around, and he's swinging it with some authority.
Two. A roller coaster of emotions and one at bat for Encarnacion. He goes from the euphoria of that's a home run to the umpire saying no, it's foul. They're having to wait out the replay, and then they tell him nope, it's still foul. And you've got to still stand there and try to battle.
That's right.
You have to put all that aside. It would be easy to maybe let your frustrations get the better of you, but he hasn't done it.
Well, he can hit one into the seats and tell him there you go. I don't have to worry about it.
A little bit outside, full count. Beck wanted it.
This is Edwin's third at bat today. This will be pitch number 20 that he will be seeing.
And the payoff pitch. Lee Tapper back to the mound. Got him to reach for it. And one down. Off day tomorrow. Dodgers come to town to start a 3-game series Tuesday night. It will be Clayton Kershaw against Trevor Bauer. And then Corey Kluber matches up with Brandon McCarthy. And the matchup for Thursday in the getaway day game. Rich Hill, the one-time Indian left-hander. Josh Tomlin for the Indians. We'll have all 3 games here on Sports Time Ohio.
After the Indians will enjoy another off day tomorrow. Their third in the last week.
Bunched together, huh?
Yeah, you're wishing you could save a couple of them, maybe at least one.
Ramirez scored a run his last time up when he reached on a fielder's choice. After tomorrow, the Indians won't have an off day until July the 3rd, the week before the All-Star break begins. Bradley Zimmer has moved into the on-deck circle. Two balls and a strike. Pop-up. Out goes the second baseman, Sanchez. And makes the catch, 2 down. So that'll give Bradley Zimmer a chance to bat for the first time here this afternoon as he pinch hits for Austin Jackson. Jackson was on base twice today. He walked in the second, singled, and scored in the fourth.
Zimmer 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter with an RBI.
For his last 6 at the plate. And a pitch down low, ball 1. Two-0 for Zimmer. Zimmer has drawn 7 walks, but has struck out 20 times. In the 21 games he has played thus far. Foul back, it's 2-1. But he's got tremendous power and good opposite field power that we've already seen on display at times. And another foul back, 2-2.
Now Zimmer hit that 2-run home run in Colorado, a breaking ball the other way. 2-run home run he does. He has very good power. He's just starting to find himself as a hitter. This could be a good sign of a lot of things to come for this young man.
Full count. And with the bases empty and 2 down, the payoff pitch is ball 4. So the inning stays alive as Zimmer draws another walk. It's his 8th on the year. And it gives Roberto Perez a chance to hit. You know, as Zimmer was working his way through that bat, I was thinking, for a young hitter, in particular a rookie, you're trying to learn the pitchers, identify what they're doing against you, while all the while trying to maintain the idea of who you are as a hitter and not to forget what your strengths and weaknesses are at the same time.
Well, young hitters, they see the ball, they like to hit it. I mean, they get more aggressive. You know, when they come up here, if they see a fastball for a strike, they may help and swing at pitches that a lot of guys will take.
Boy, good jump by Zimmer. The throw down, not even close.
I like going in feet first.
And he's going to go to third.
Why not? He's going to be safe.
Not even close there either. Zimmer, instant offense. He goes second to third on one throw that gets away.
You know, that's the one thing I love. He's going in feet first. Now, he's got a great jump there, and he steals it easy. He slides feet first, and he slides a lot earlier. Stays on the base. His problem has been sliding a little too late, and he's over sliding the base. He was going head first, but there it is. Feet first, no problem. Stolen base, gets to third on the error. That'll be his 4th stolen base.
First error of the game. Now he'll be looking for a ball in the dirt. Roberto Perez, meanwhile, licking his chops. This has been his specialty this year. A little too aggressive perhaps there. And it's 1-1. Tom Bochenek saying that this third time through the lineup, 5 of the 7 Indians hitters have worked the count full. Quintana faced the first 4. Beck starting here in the 6th inning, facing his 4th batter now. There's the 2-1 to Perez. And the count evens. A .400 average in those super clutch situations.
And a chance to add on to it here.
It was 2-0, now 2-2 with Zimmer down the line at third. Down his fastball, but straight back into the screen with it. This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Chris Beck. Broke his bat right to him. And flipped to first, ends the inning. Well, the inning started with nearly a bang as Edwin Encarnacion thought he had a homer, but the umpires call it foul. Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by the stylish 2017 Kia Optima. Bradley Zimmer taking over in center field after he pinch hit for Austin Jackson. As we surmised, Andrew Miller on to pitch the 7th. Omar Narvaez 0 for 2 today. Lifted for Kevin Smith. Smith on the year. You see the numbers overall. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter.
Taken all the way in a 2-0 count. Looking for base runners are the White Sox. They need one to bring the tying run to the plate.
Foul ball to short. Lindor sets, throws. One down. Best way to wrap up your weekend on the golf course? Watch Inside the Golf Zone with Jimmy Hanlon. It's tonight at 8 on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Should be a fun show with Jimmy tonight. He's going to preview the U.S. Open. He's going to have Dana Fry, the actual course designer from Erin Hills, the home of this year's U.S. Open. So tune in, Jimmy, tonight. Matt Davidson 0 for 2. Popped up, foul out of play. One out here in the 7th, and the Indians by a run. Just ate him up. That was an absolute fire-breathing fastball from Andrew Miller. And Matt Davidson in the throes of a 1 for 19 slide had no chance.
Elevated fastball with a little extra on it. You can see that ball by him. So that's 3 strikeouts now for Andrew.
He's retired all 4 that he has faced. Top of the order, Willie Garcia, his first at bat. He took over for Lurie Garcia, who was thrown out trying to steal back in the 5th. And when he dove head first into the bag, his left hand slammed right into the leg of Francisco Lindor, who was taking the throw. And he immediately got up, grabbing that left hand, and he was removed from the game. You want to know what the report was from the Chicago clubhouse?
Yeah. Sore left hand.
You got it. Left hand soreness.
That's what I figured.
It was left knee soreness.
Yeah.
When Abreu got,
wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Left knee or left Drew's left knee?
No, just soreness.
Well, it is. It's sore. They don't know anything yet. I'll let you know.
It hurts.
It hurts enough to take him out of the game.
Three-one pitch to Willie Garcia. He pops it up. Santana to the railing. He makes the catch. Andrew Miller, 5 up, 5 down. An inning and 2/3. Perfect relief.
Tito already knows he's going to Miami. Now he's getting the team prepared, but he needs your help to get them there.
Fans, please don't let me go to Miami alone.
Vote your Tribe players to the All-Star game at Indians.com/vote.
Well, Tito and his club lead the White Sox 3-2. Bottom of the 7th inning coming up. And Eric Gonzalez, Daniel Robertson, Francisco Lindor due up. Kevin Smith taking over behind the plate. Chris Beck had to make a lot of pitches to get out of that 6th inning, even though he only had 1 base runner, but 25 pitch inning. So we'll see what he's got left here in the 7th. There is action in the pen behind him. Starts Eric Gonzalez off with a breaking ball for strike 1.
Gonzalez, the big base hit with 2 outs to put their 3rd run on the board after a wild pitch, scored the 2nd run back in the 4th inning. The Indians with 2 out base hits. 1 in the 2nd by Roberto Perez, and Eric Gonzalez got the 1 in the 4th. So a couple of clutch hits today. And some pretty good pitching, gives him a 1-run lead.
Canely ready in the pen for Chicago. He's been up throwing for a bit. Down the right field line, slicing, it's a fair ball, and Garcia corrals it. His throw to second base is offline, way offline, and it gets by the backup man, and on his way to 3rd goes Gonzalez. Instant offense from the number 9 spot of the order. It'll be a double, and he'll go to 3rd on the throwing error by Javi Garcia in right field.
Well, it was actually very good hustle, forcing Garcia to throw him out and make a good throw, because that ball beat him. By the time it was going to land, he broke back, and he has to spin to make a move, but Gonzalez just hustles to get himself into second base, and he picks up the baseball with a wild throw, goes to 3rd. Beautiful hustle, and this inning is set up with nobody out and that man on 3rd base, so they're going to have to bring the infield in now.
And the top of the order.
2nd error in as many innings
Get
for
a
the
pinch
White
hitter.
Sox defense too.
Lonnie Chisnall's going to hit for Daniel Robertson. Well, you don't see that very often, do you?
No, a little pickoff move at 3rd base. They're going to set up and think they're going to get an out.
Lonnie is 2 for 8 off the bench as a pinch hitter this year. Up and away, ball 1. Early in the year, Lonnie came off the bench and had a pinch hit grand slam against the Tigers back on April the 14th. And a foul straight back. Infield in, and Chris Beck Sets. And a 1-1. He pulls it foul. Chris Beck, a Georgia native, was drafted by the White Sox in the second round back in 2012 out of Georgia Southern. The Indians actually took a flyer on him coming out of high school, but it was a 35th round choice back in 09, and he decided to take a baseball scholarship to Georgia Southern instead. I mean, talk about improving your draft stock from the 35th round to the second round in a couple of years. Not bad.
Yes, indeed. Excellent.
Lonnie blips one to center. Coming in is Garcia. He's going to make the catch. Tagging is Gonzalez, and he will not come home.
Not with nobody out. And you've got Lindor coming to the plate. You're going to force him to, you know, you're not going to give him an out at home plate there. So they'll start to make a throw and then hold up. It wasn't deep enough, so Chisenhall couldn't get the job done. And that's what Sarbaugh, look at, he's looking, says, hold up. He went down the line, and he wanted to gauge the throw coming home and felt it wasn't deep enough. So we'll see if they make a move here. He's in the dugout. Doesn't look like it, does it?
Unless he's on the phone trying to figure out if
He's ready, as you mentioned. Here he comes.
Yeah,
I figured he was sitting down in there waiting until they were absolutely sure.
Still a one-run game at 3-2, so that's a big insurance run for the Indians out there at third base. And Rick Renneria is going to go to his bullpen. So Chris Beck has worked an inning and a third of scoreless relief to this point, but he's responsible for that runner at third base. We'll be right back. Is providing some spark at the bottom part of the Indians lineup today with an RBI single, a double in this inning, and then the aggressive base running puts him down at third base. And with more on him, let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, you know, Terry Francona has talked about almost not a problem having Eric Gonzalez here, but he doesn't like him sitting because he thinks he's going to be a great full-time baseball player at some point in time. And he says that because of all the things that we're able to show here. He thinks defensively he can play anywhere from second, short, or third and be gold glove caliber. And he thinks when his body fills out, this could be a kid that could drive the ball out of the ballpark, but also be a gap-to-gap hitter and hit a lot of doubles. So for the Indians, it's trying to find the right places and right times to get him involved. Today, so far, he's been a spark plug that this team has needed.
He certainly has, Andre. He has today, and it's been fun. I know he's having a good time out there. It's just, you know, you're hiding behind Ramirez, Lindor, and Kipnis.
But they're good problems to have because you want people to force you to have to make tough decisions.
Right. I mean, the kid, he's got a really good chance. And right now, Lindor going to try and get him home and give the Indians another insurance run here. Make it a 4-2 game if they can.
Infield in. Francisco Lindor digs in. Interesting alignment defensively here. They've got the right side of the infield. Look how far they're pulled around. Shortstop playing almost up the middle. Third baseman Frazier trying to keep Gonzalez close, and Lindor wraps one to left field. Running back Cabrera won't get it. To the wall it goes. Gonzalez scores. Lindor into second base with a clutch RBI double to make it 4-2 Cleveland.
Well, that's what he was talking about doing, driving a ball to left center field as a left-handed batter, and he stopped up and got that fastball. And this will be our Yellowwood bringing the lumber to a guy that can really throw the ball. He's up in the high 90s, but Lindor made it look easy. Stayed on the baseball. Gets his 17th double, his 27th RBI, and makes it a 4-2 game.
Now big for Lindor to come up with a big hit. Now, I was mentioning it to you earlier in the game about how you always want to maintain that level of consistency as a player, as far as your demeanor, your day-to-day attitude, regardless of how you're doing. That's the one thing I think that Lindor's trying to do, even despite the struggles that he's been going through and that the team has been going through. You see him day in and day out. He's still got the smile. He's still got the infectious personality. He's trying his best to stay up, even though you got to know inside it's eating him up right now.
Well, people they forget that this kid is only in his second full year. I mean, come on. He's young. He can't carry a ball club. He's still learning how to play the game at the major league level. And there's a lot of things for him to learn. But he's thrown in that spotlight every day, playing a good shortstop, hitting second. He can't do everything. And a lot of times we forget and think how young he is and how good he's going to become, but he's still learning.
Well, Matt, you're right in saying that, though. He continues to bring the smile, but I can tell you, he's been on that laptop, the little computer they have over here where they can look at in between innings. He's doing all he can off the field to try to get his hitting back to where it needs to be. But I can tell you, mentally, I don't want to say he's struggling, but mentally he's changing hair, changing socks. He's doing every little thing he possibly can to try to lead this team and try to be positive right now.
Yeah, this game can do that to you.
And you can just see little things. I know we've laughed that he used to not look at any of the scouting reports on pitchers. He told me 2-3 weeks ago, he goes, I'm not good enough not to do that anymore. He goes, they know me. I got to know what they're trying to do to me now. So he's trying to mature, but we're watching him mature right in front of our own eyes.
Well, it goes back to taking what you find beneficial and discarding all of the excess, because there's so much information. You can get overloaded with it. But he's bright enough to know, okay, this I can pick out a few things here that'll help me.
He will definitely figure it out.
The 1-2 to Brantley popped out of play.
Well, I think the story I told you guys earlier is probably the funniest, where he went up to Sarby and he simply said, let me see the spray chart of what the other defense is doing to me. And as soon as he saw it, the light went off and he goes, it's my fault. I'm pulling the ball too much. I need to get it back to where they had to play me straight up.
Yeah. And what did he do that last hit? As Rick pointed out, he wrapped it up to the left center field gap. The opposite field hits always seem to be the hits that get guys back on track.
They bring you back, is what the opposite field does.
Oh man, Brantley somehow skipped out of the way, and down to third goes Lindor. The ball looked like it was going to nail him in the foot.
Third wild pitch to him by the White Sox. And he didn't even get leather on it, but then again, that was a tough one to even try to. So the infield comes in again with one out, and another good opportunity to just try and put the ball in play.
Brantley goes down swinging. First strikeout for him today. Only the fourth for White Sox pitching, but boy, did it come at an opportune time for Chicago. Looks like a changeup.
Yeah, it is a changeup. Down, and that was like at about 89, almost 90 miles an hour, I think. And when you're throwing it in the upper 90s, that arm speed, boy, you got to get it started. And he gets a big strikeout.
Santana 0 for 3. A couple of ground ball outs. He has struck out. And he almost got knocked off his feet. Able to dance out of the way. The run in the inning charged to Chris Beck. As Tommy Kahnle tries to get the third out. Interesting that, you know, everybody does it maybe their own way, but defensively for Chicago right now, they've got the second baseman Sanchez way out on the outfield grass like we normally see with the shift, but it's not a shift because the shortstop Anderson, he's still over on the left side of second base. Most of the time we see somebody go over there on the right side and join the second baseman, with Santana at the plate in particular. Swings through it. It's 1-2. Maybe if you don't have that runner at third, they would have been able to slide Frazier over and swing Anderson to the other side. Frazier trying to keep Lindor relatively close at second. He was really bird dogging him early in the count. Been a while since we've seen a straight steal at home. The 1-2 swung on and missed. He threw it by him and strikes him out. Francisco Lindor delivers a huge RBI double here in the 7th inning, extending the Indians' lead to 4-2. Of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. 4-2 Cleveland as we roll to the 8th inning, and after Andrew Miller worked an inning and 2/3 of perfect relief, striking out 3, Brian Shaw comes on to pitch the 8th. Shaw for the 29th time this year. He struck out 26. He has walked 13. And he's got 2-3-4 due up in the Chicago lineup. Meanwhile, Lonnie Chisenhall, after pinch hitting for Daniel Robertson, stays in the game in right field.
Brian Shaw did appear in yesterday's ball game. Gave up a couple of hits and a run.
Down and in, ball one. Well, the Yankees are pummeling Baltimore. It's now 10-3. Aaron Judge hit his 20th home run of the season today. They estimated it went 495 feet to the top of the lower deck in left center field.
Well, he's hitting balls like Frank Howard used to.
He might be as big, if not bigger.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He's as big. I don't know if he can get bigger than that guy. We used to call him Hondo. His nickname was Hondo Howard. Hondo the mini condo. That's how big he was. But we haven't had an opportunity yet to see Aaron Judge.
And Melky Cabrera with a 4-pitch walk. All right, Murph says we have it. Here it is. Take a look. Watch how far this baby goes.
Well, it's just a matter of sitting watching. Now we know where that is in Yankee Stadium, up above the seats. Look at now it's a matter. Look at his teammates just watching.
Because just straight away left field is a long poke.
Yeah. Let's put it in perspective. That would have been over the monuments in old Yankee Stadium, if anybody remembers that. And out of the ballpark.
Well, Brian Shaw yet to throw a strike here. And Roberto Perez out to try and get him back on track.
Well, he walked one yesterday, had one strikeout. And, you know, that's the last thing you want to do is, you know, you got to hit your way on. But he got a break yesterday, too, in the inning. They tried a squeeze play. Ramirez made the play. Lindor went back to third. They got a double play to get out of the inning.
Fouled back by Abreu. And that's something. Good hitters. They're still, even though he hadn't thrown a strike yet, 5 straight out of the zone. But after that meeting, he figured he's going to come at me with a fastball. He did, but he couldn't square it up. Ground ball towards second base. Gonzalez to Lindor. Back to first. Double play.
Second double play that Abreu has hit into today. It's going to be away, and it's right to Gonzalez as they turn it nicely. They did it back in the third inning. And there you go. You erase the walk.
And with 2 down, Avisail Garcia doubled and scored in the 6th. Blew it by him. Attaboy. Houston Astros going for their major league leading 45th win of the year today. Out in Anaheim, they were up 6-3, but in the bottom of the 5th, the Angels cobbled together a 3-run inning to tie it up at 6-6. Upstairs with a heater. Tigers will be in action later tonight against Boston. Twins out in San Francisco to take on the Giants. Just about due to get underway. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He blew it by him. Brian Shaw gets the strikeout, and we go to the bottom of the 8th with the Indians up 4-2. to you by Miller Lite.
Speaking of Miller time, 5 hitters, 3 strikeouts for Andrew Miller. And boy, he goes out there and he's so stingy. Tough to center on the baseball. Nothing hit very hard, so 5 outs. Another nice performance by him.
Gregory Infante is the new White Sox pitcher. As he comes on to work here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's given up a run in 5 of his 13 appearances. We mentioned before, you have as many injuries as they've had in their bullpen. You're looking for help anywhere you can find it.
And usually the White Sox have a pretty good bullpen. There's no doubt. But sometimes you got to do some patchwork. You mentioned as much as they've been on the road this year. They'll go back and have a nice long homestand of 4 games before they head back out for a week.
Yeah, it's amazing that you've had that many long roadies.
Yeah, they've had 23 home games, and this is game number 60 for us. So you can see that it's
down low. Man, last time up, Edwin Encarnacion launched one. It appeared to go directly over the foul pole down the left field line, but the umpires called it foul on the field. They tried to go to replay to check. They couldn't see anything to overturn it, so it stayed as a foul ball. And then,
well, once the ball gets above the pole, it's awfully tough to see it on camera, no matter how you focus on it. You got to extend those up another 100 feet with Encarnacion.
You'd almost need like a camera attached to the foul pole looking straight
laser
up.
beams. Let's go see.
High pop. Shallow right. Obviously, Garcia. 1 down. Now, if you missed it earlier, this is what we're talking about. I mean, he smoked this thing. I mean, by the time the thing landed, it
was out of the ballpark.
Completely out of the ballpark. He's thinking, come on, that's a home run. And
that thing.
Well, what bothered Eddie? He said it didn't go over it. He said it went around it. He goes, it landed foul. He goes, but it went past the pole on the fair side. That's what he and Mike Sarbaugh have said, and they don't understand why it wasn't a home run.
Well, he had a good angle because he was down the first baseline a little bit, so he had a pretty good idea.
He's still beside himself. The conversation's gone on since the 6th inning why that wasn't a home run.
I mean, the only thing about that logic is that if it had truly gone around the pole, we would have seen it pass behind it. The problem was it was above the foul pole, so there's no frame of reference for the replay guy in New York to see did it pass in front of or behind the pole.
Right. You're right.
And so he's got to make
tell Eddie don't hit him as high next time.
I think he's hit everything high this weekend. They've landed in different places.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's a good sign.
Ramirez wraps one to left center field. Back is Melky Cabrera. Runs it down in the middle of the warning track, 2 away. Recapping our storylines today from Mazda. The Indians wanted to play from in front. Well, they did that. They got the early lead. They scored the first 3 runs of the game. Allowed Carlos Carrasco to settle in, and he did for 5 innings. It was shutout baseball. Then he hit a batter with 1 out in the 6th and gave up back-to-back doubles, and it just had that feel. And Tito has seen this happen with Carrasco to where he didn't want to let all of a sudden the White Sox take all of the momentum and maybe flip the table. So he went right to Andrew Miller, almost like a, I don't want to say desperation, but he felt like we have to win this game.
Well, and you have an off day tomorrow. So, let's go. I'll extend my bullpen. They have an off day tomorrow. I'm not worried about it. And so far, it's the right decision. Absolutely.
You got Cody Allen up in the bullpen. He'll be coming on to pitch tonight. even if the Indians maybe score a couple of runs, he'd probably still have him come on and pitch tonight.
Yes,
with the off day tomorrow.
I would agree. That's what happened Friday. No save situation, 4-run lead. He came in the last inning.
Ran it upstairs. By the way, Rick, I told you in the 5th, the Angels came back with a 3-spot to tie the Astros.
Right.
They weren't done. They just scored 3 more. They now lead at 9-6. It's a 6-run 5th inning for the Angels. In the dirt. Eric Young Jr. hit a 3-run homer.
Wow, I didn't know he was a home run guy.
Well, let's see. That's his 2nd of the year. Zimmer swings over the top, and the side is retired. We head to the 9th. Cody Allen will try to close it out when we come back.
Just 3 outs away from securing the win today and also the weekend series against the Chicago White Sox in the rubber match. 4-2 in the 9th as Cody Allen is coming on along with Jensen Lewis. Oh yeah, something about Mustard and Andre Knott. It was sign day today. You can join us every Sunday here at Progressive Field for this. I'm Al Pulaski. Jensen, how about Eric Gonzalez today?
Not bad, but I think also, how about the bullpen today as this wind tries to blow my sign away? This is Tito just saying, hey, we're going for the series win. You got the off day tomorrow, as Arch mentioned. Beautifully executed by Miller and Sean. Hopefully Allen gets it done here in the 9th.
Join us for Indians Live after the game. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the call of the 9th, here are Matt and Rick.
All right, thanks, guys. All signs point towards an Indians win if Cody Allen can nail it down. And Cody will have the 5, 6, and 7 spots due up in the Chicago lineup. 14 out of 15 in save opportunities this year. Worked the scoreless 9th Friday night, giving up 1 hit. And Todd Frazier 3 for 3 on the day to lead it off. Takes a strike.
Frazier talking to home plate umpire Mike Everett saying that fastball's high. But it's strike 1 on the board.
Well, maybe you got.
Well, I was going to say after he
benefit
said
of the doubt there.
Maybe he did.
Oh, nice curveball. Buckled him. And it's 1-2. You can almost see Frazier sort of nod in Cody's direction to say, okay, yeah, you got me there. Now the 1-2. He lays off that high heat. Frazier has driven in 5 runs in the series. His 2-run double in the 6th, accounting for the only Sox runs today. Good fastball, got him looking. 1 down.
Good fastball inside. They're sitting away. Does it come back in? It sure does. So that's about 15 inches he misses by. They wanted it away. It goes to the inside part of the plate, but it still locks up Todd Frazier, out number 1.
It might have diagonally cut across the plate with as much movement as that pitch had on it. Here is Yolmer Sanchez, 1 for 3 today. And he looks at a first pitch curveball for strike 1. And 2 strikes on Sanchez. Now Cody's 0-2. Breaking ball hit up the middle and it's through. So an 0-2 pitch put into center field by Sanchez will enable the White Sox to bring the tying run to the plate. Watch it again. It's a low curveball, but he went down and got it.
I'll tell you, not a bad pitch. That he did. He went down, hit it right back up the middle. So that'll bring the tying run to the plate.
Swing and a foul. Tim Anderson has struck out all 3 times today. Tried to hold up. It looked like maybe he went, but they say no. Take a side look. No, he definitely held up.
Yeah, he was able to check it.
Perfect fastball. Just painted the outside corner at the knees. And it's 1-2.
Well, look at it. This time that ball doesn't run in. That's a tremendous four-seamer right there, outside edge on the knees.
And the 1-2 pitch. Almost chased after it. But for the second time in the at-bat, he held up. So the Yankees beat the Orioles yesterday 16-3. Aaron Judge has just homered again, and it's now 14-3.
Holy smokes. 30 runs in the last 2 games.
Wow. Buck Showalter and company and really taking it on the chin in the Big Apple. 2-2. Swung out and missed. 4th strikeout of the day for Tim Anderson. Ouch. 2 down in the 9th. Cody went up the ladder and blew it right past him.
Yeah, go up with a fastball. You're not going to be able to catch up to that one. Above the belt. Cody gets his 2nd strikeout and down to the last out now. Looking for save number 15.
Kevin Smith. Who grounded out in his only at bat in the 7th inning. Back out of play. $26,611 on a perfect Sunday afternoon at the ballpark. And the Indians 1 out away from making it 2 out of 3 against Chicago. Now low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Off day tomorrow. Dodgers come to town for a 3-game series beginning Tuesday night. Trevor Bauer will go for the Tribe in the opener against Clayton Kershaw. And the 1-1. Slowly chopped to third. Charging Ramirez. Gloves it. Flips it. And the Indians win the series. They take 2 out of 3 from Chicago, winning today by a final score of 4-2. Cody Allen, with a scoreless 9th, records his 15th save of the year. Carlos Carrasco went 5 1/3 to pick up the win. He's now 6-3. Jose Quintana is now winless in his last 7 starts as he falls to 2-8 on the year. Offensively, the Indians got production from the bottom part of the order. Eric Gonzalez had 2 hits, a double, a run scored, a run batted in. Edwin Encarnacion continued his tear with a double and a run scored. And Francisco Lindor providing a big RBI double late in the game to give the Indians that much-needed insurance run. So the Tribe takes a series, and they have an off day tomorrow before the Dodgers come to town.
It shows you how important those base hits with runners in scoring position are. You know, the guys that got him today, Perez and Gonzalez, that got him on the roll after a wild pitch, scored their 2nd run. So they didn't do a whole lot offensively. They did exactly what they had to do because they had very good pitching. And the pitching today shut down the White Sox, so they ended up winning 4-2. So good game.
Boy, it's funny how those hits with runners in scoring position sometimes can be so elusive.
They're golden, man, when you get them.
They got 2 of the tough ones today with 2 outs, and the Indians go on to win it. 4-2 is the final. We'll have some final thoughts right after this.